I did it. I think I got it. Yep. All right, we're good. Welcome to the PvP segment of MogTalk 200. Guys, we're going to be talking about the Feast community, and this has been a huge part of my life. I've been on stage doing commentary at the FanFest. It seems so recent, but it was like years ago now. And so, I've been part of the Feast community, and I've always been a supporter of some sort of competitive PvP in the game. And so I definitely want to dedicate at least an hour or so of the show today to PvP. And so I wanted to bring two people in that are extremely involved in the community in various different ways. And so I'm going to let them introduce themselves. It's Brian, Ricardo, and Mateo, but I would like them to tell you a little bit more about who they are. So Brian, tell everybody who you are.
Hi, my name is Brian Ricardo. I mostly stream PvP like every week for like 3 years.
Yep.
I also make some YouTube video guides for PvP as well, and I also run the Rival Wings Discord,
which is a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a really big Discord that we schedule Hidden Gorge basically.
Yeah, and that's awesome to keep that stuff alive too, because otherwise I don't think those queues would pop without a Discord behind
much.
It. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But that being said, let's go ahead. Mateo, tell everybody who you are.
Yo, what's up? I'm Mateo. My name is very different in game. Don't give me shit about it. I've been around for a while, man. I've been just probably about the same time as you guys. I attended the FRC 2018, and my team was successful in claiming that championship, Synergy 6, and it was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Likewise, I'm one of the staff in PvPaisa, and I've been a part of that for a while as well, and just trying to push the community in a positive direction, and see what's up, talk to people, learn new things, and be cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys have both been pretty positive people within the community overall too, and it's difficult to stay positive when you're dealing with a lot of competitive people all trying to win, and people get upset when they lose, and of course that leads to all kinds of things. And when people think of Final Fantasy XIV, they normally think of positivity in some way with a lot of the community, because it's a very casual type of community, and it focuses on the story, it focuses on things like Chocobo Racing and Triple Triad and Mahjong that was so popular when it first came out. This is the type of Final Fantasy XIV community is. And so when we start seeing this the less wholesome of like people losing at PvP, it starts to be a little bit jarring. But that being said, there has been a community that has developed around Feast, and I think it's an extremely vital community, because without it, we would never be playing Feast. That is a mode that I really love. It has its merits. There are issues with Feast, I would say, but it definitely has things that bring me in. Not last season, because I was trying to graduate college, but most seasons I try to come in. So my first question to you guys, and either one of you can answer it, is there's a lot of people maybe watching this show that has absolutely no clue what the Feast community looks like. So what is the Feast community right now?
That's all you, Brian.
Well,
you could ask this
basically, because there's such a long queue time for PvP, we have Discords basically that get people talking about matches and helping newer players get into it and learning in the mode. That's basically the main Feast community, I would say. There's also like little Discords where people like practice matches together. They're called Scrim Discords.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that's mostly the Feast community.
Okay, just kind of talking to a small group on Discord. Mateo, would you expand upon that at all, or you think that was?
Well, I don't know if I call it too small. I mean, there's like a meme. I think I watched this one dude's like video or something. He was talking about like how the community needs to man up and all that stuff. I'm like, dude. And he's like, oh yeah, this goes for the two people that play Feast as well. There's actually a pretty decently sized community.
There's at least 600 people who play Feast. We see that on leaderboards. There's 600 people on leaderboards. There's a decent amount of people who play it. There's just, I think the number of people who take it seriously isn't as high. I think that would be what I would be directing it towards. But yeah, there are a lot of people who do play.
Yeah, just like population-wise compared to overall 14, it's like 1% maybe.
Yeah,
it's very, very, very low.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could agree with that. It's there's a lot that we could talk about, the barrier of entry and other things like that. But everybody has their reasons for not playing and for playing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, there's definitely a community for it. Some of them are very welcoming. Others may not be as welcoming. Like that's, you're not going to walk down a dark alley. Yeah, pretty much. So basically, do some research. There's a lot of resources out there, and just join up, man. It's cool. It's fun.
Yeah, it's a very fun mode. I think people just got to give it a try. That's like the main thing. A lot of people hear bad things and they don't try it, but if you try it, you might like it. That's how a lot of people end up addicted.
You're so right, actually. Some people do really, really get addicted. I think that was like a perfect word to use, because I keep hearing this all the time. I'll get like a DM, be like, "Hey, can I get some help? I'm new to Feast." I'm like, "Yeah, just do this, this, and this." And then they're like, "Okay, that was like my 300 match. I love it. What can I do different?" kind of thing. You know what I mean? So there's some cool stuff from it.
I mean, I'll let you know, I've said this multiple times. My first experience getting into Feast is I joined a Discord way back when, one of the original ones, and then I did a match. I did a few matches, and then after a while, I started getting pinged, and it was pretty much like, go kill myself. And it was like, I shouldn't be playing this mode and everything else. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. But then afterwards, I was like, so what didn't, you like about what I did? And then they said this, and you're like, you're so stupid for not doing this. Like, okay, I'll try doing that. And then it was like, all right, cool. It was just like, that whole like, toxic saltiness and everything else that people come when they're trying so hard to win and things are out of their control, and then they start like just yelling and screaming and everything. Usually there's valid stuff that you can pull from it. Just you have to get past that anger of realizing it's just a video game. And I think we do see that often within any PvP community, and Feast is not excluded by that.
Pretty much, yeah.
Back
then the Discords were pretty unfiltered, but nowadays it's like the main Discord, PBI says like for welcoming the new players and stuff like that. You'll never hear or see anything like that.
Yeah, because people try to control it. And I think that PvP is it was kind of necessary for that to really evolve for the PvP community, because you don't want this barrier of people coming in, and you can't always be like psychologically sound and like, I know exactly what the internet's like and how people are going to interact. I know exactly how to respond to these people and everything else when you go into a world. So if you don't have something that's like relatively moderated, new people won't come in. It's a big wall of toxicity that they have to get past, because one person can be really loud and just drive everybody out. So you have to have some sort of logic and rules, because open chaos is great for people who want to live in open chaos, but some people just want to play Feast and have fun, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that Discord has been able to at least achieve that, because it was rough at first. And I mean, if you have a community where people could be reasonable, you don't need as much moderation, but the larger you get, there's like this level of people who are just going to be trolly and shitty people that's just going to increase, and it's a threshold where they just overwhelm everyone else, and you have to try to keep that in check. I mean, that's the same thing with Reddit, and like people complain about that stuff as well, but if you don't put some control on it, it's just a horrible, shitty experience for most people who go into it.
Yeah.
When it comes down to it. Sorry, Brian, go ahead, please.
Oh, I was gonna say it appears like exactly how the way 14 is now. It's like more casualized and more friendly for new players, and you have to be polite in chat. It's just how like the PvP community also is like lately.
Well, Mateo,
for the most part.
Yeah.
I was gonna say you cannot escape the salt. No matter what you try, no matter what happens, if you play good, if you play bad, there will be salt. There's certain individuals that cannot control themselves, unfortunately, right? And those individuals, in my opinion, depending on the level of salt that they throw at you, are absolutely wood tier, right? So it is in your, that's what I've always thought, right? It is in your best interest, as you said it, Frosty. Read between the lines, man. If you're just in a match with somebody, and they're in Discord with you, and you guys lost like really bad, like let's say you did something really bad, and they tag you, blah blah blah, idiot, blah blah blah, whatever. Don't, what's that doing for you? Nothing.
Yeah.
But somebody tags you and like, yo, I noticed, you weren't using this ability correctly. How about maybe try it this way this time? You're like, okay, cool. So there's a bit of a balancing act when it comes to it, right? Like absolutely. Like if you watch Brian's streams, be like, okay, this guy could have done this differently, right? This guy could have maybe popped his additionals or something like that. But realistically, you can learn a lot by just asking people. Like, I'm gonna just small tangent. When I first started, I was like, okay, because I came from a competitive background as well. I used to play StarCraft 2 very competitively.
Oof.
That was tough.
Well,
that was,
StarCraft 2 is like a whole different world because it's not team based. You die, you lose. It's you. That's it. Unless they Zerg you rush you, that's cheesy, right? Then it's their fault. But go ahead.
Yeah. Well, my point of it was like, okay, I know what I know about competitive and gaming, and my first thought was like, okay, I'm gonna jump in. I'm gonna first do some research. I'm gonna jump in. I'm gonna try like everything I can, while the ranked is like low. While I'm at, rank low on the ladder and whatever, I'm gonna try everything, and then I'm gonna try to find like the biggest, baddest dudes. And this is my logic. I'm gonna fucking duel them, dude.
Okay.
So
the 1v1 aspect, yeah.
Dueled him. Nah, I'm
Yeah.
joking.
Yeah.
But that sounds similar to how people do fighting games.
Yeah.
Which is what I started with, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, my logic is if you want to improve, there is venues to improve. If you want to like get better, it's not hard.
Yeah.
It will be hard mechanically and conceptually. However, if you want feedback, there's always feedback to be requested.
I
Absolutely.
think that's something the community has built a lot of ways for people to improve, and they don't get anything out of it. They just they're like I want the community to improve. I want people to have resources and be able to get into this. And there's so much out there right now that people can use to be better. At least get to a level to where they can reach diamond and reach high platinum or whatever, be on the top 100. There are things out there, resources for it, and the community has done a really good job over the last few years trying to build that up. But I think a lot of the issue is when people are coming in from outside the community, they don't know how to enter into it. But it's almost like telling someone how to Google information, right? You're just like, you can find the Discord if you ask somebody or you say anything or respond to someone who messages you. But there are like a lot of people who try Feast that aren't a part of the community that wish to have nothing to do with the community, and they just go in there and drive everyone insane constantly.
Yes.
And it's sad. So when we talk about the Feast community, we're not really talking about the people who are just kind of, I want to try it out and say fuck everybody else. It's the people who are actively working to be a part of this game mode and have fun with it. And I think that side of it is great. I mean, there are negative, people that you're like, all right, well, this person isn't great. Well, sure, he's not the community. He's just a part of the community. The community as a whole, I think, is actually pretty great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that.
Likewise.
So I guess I want to ask, there isn't a lot in for the people who are doing this. How does community keep going? Like, how does it? It's been going for so long. We've been a part of this for how long now? Like years.
4 years. 4 years. Yeah.
Brian's been for how long? Go ahead, man.
It's been a while. How do people keep up?
I don't know. I question myself all the time. I don't know. For me, streaming makes it a lot better. Like seeing people like happy to watch, happy to talk about it, happy to learn. Mm-hmm. That's usually for me.
Okay.
That makes me happy to do it. Continue.
Because I do see that. You're right. I do see people come in and they get bashed on every once in a while, and I feel bad about it. But I mean, it usually gets taken care of, and there are people actively out there trying to learn it for the first time, and it's crazy seeing this like excitement in their eyes, not literally, but in what they're saying about Feast, and it's so it's encouraging to keep going and keep trying to help people. Like when I made that stupid Feast video.
Wait, which one?
The one that was used at FabFest, man.
They used that JP2?
They used that JP,
that
yeah.
We love you, Frosty. Yeah, I remember that.
That was so weird because I'm not really a good video editor, man. I don't do stuff like that.
It was good. It was good.
And then I remember being told to condense it to 3 minutes. Constantly. I'm like, there's no way I could do it. And then we just crammed it into a 3-minute video, and it worked out.
That's good, yeah.
But yeah, no, I've been so involved in this community and the people around it that it's hard for me to hate it. And it's sad that it does get a bad rap, but I can't really be upset with people not liking it. If they don't like it, they don't like it. It's fine.
Exactly.
Yeah, the only problem is when people who don't even try it, they say they don't like it. That's the weird thing.
They don't like what
That
they've
is-
heard about it. They can't.
Yeah.
They don't say that, but they don't like the idea and the concept that was built into their head from whatever was told to them, and that's fine.
That's honestly like the biggest stigma that I see. It's one of like the biggest disappointments I have from the community outside of, the PvP community, because you'll have an echo chamber, unfortunately, of like, oh, PvP this, PvP that. PvP has, all this nonsense going on. But really, man, if you like, okay, you know what? I'll just say it. If you look at like win traders, right?
Mm-hmm.
People, there's this great over exaggeration that like everybody win trades. Everybody win
Right.
trades, and that's how we get to our rank. Here's the thing, man. If the Final Fantasy PvP community is like 1% of the total community, like Brian said,
Mm-hmm.
the amount of win traders there is within the PvP community is like 1% as well.
Yeah, it's pretty low. I mean,
Yeah.
most people enjoy
Right.
actually succeeding in the mode in a legitimate match, and they don't care about the cheating part and aspect because they stay away from it. They never really get inspired to do it because it's so much more satisfying to just beat the hell out of another team by being good and being on, just being better than the other healer or being better than the other tank or being better with, just going out there and winning because you're good. I think people mistake the lazy people who try to take the easy way out as being the community, and it's not.
Correct. It is definitely not the face of the community. Like you look at Brian, you look at yourself, Frosty, at times as well. Like these are
At
people
times.
that are the face of the community. At times, yeah. You look, especially right now. It's these are the people that you actually want to look at in terms of like what the PvP community represents, because I'm gonna say it, dude. PvP should not be easy, and it is conceptually
Yeah.
it is easy, mechanically it is easy, but the execution of it, especially at the higher levels, it gets very intense.
Mm-hmm. So,
Yeah.
to expand upon that, I would say Feast is almost probably the most difficult content in the game, because, and the reason I'm saying that to understand the mode, it's not Dota. You don't have to research every single character, hundreds of characters, and know exactly everything they do. The thing is, you're fighting someone else. And so you're not fighting a scripted boss. You're not fighting something that you know everything about. You're fighting unpredictable, crazy people. Right?
I mean, yeah, I agree, but a lot of people don't like hearing that.
No, I mean, the people who are really good, you're fighting other people who are they want to win, and their goal is to beat you in Feast. And it's different than going out and doing a PvE match, and it's different. While I like front lines and large scale stuff, I can't take it seriously competitively because there's no way to really do that unless if you have pre-made teams.
Sure.
And because it's usually just kind of a cluster, whichever one has
Yeah.
the person who can organize the best. So when we're talking about Feast, you can actually start, especially, which is sad because you can't really do it as much, but people who are on pre-made teams in Feast, 4 versus 4, is some of the most entertaining things for me to watch. Because you're seeing their strategy and how the other team is going to respond to their strategy, and if this person steps this way one way, how is the other person going to respond to that? That's all part of it.
Yeah. Reactions, predictions, all of it.
So
A lot of awareness.
that's why I'm sad that it hasn't picked up as much. And so I kind of, one of the next things that I really want to talk about is, we haven't heard a lot about Feast. To be honest, they did do a lot of balance changes, which was awesome. I think they fixed some issues there. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think a lot of issues with balance have been fixed in some way, right? There are still some imbalances, but
yeah,
it's
still
better.
rough right now. But this patch 5.3, I didn't expect anything, but it was actually a lot of stuff.
yeah, I can play Paladin again, so
Yeah.
You can, yeah. You
Yeah.
should play that.
And so I think when we're talking about this, I know there is, within the community, it does get kind of depressing when you don't see a lot of activity happen towards that mode. But it's been so long. Something has to happen soon, I would assume, unless if they just want to create another mode or just completely get rid of it, which I don't think they want to do, because I do think that Yoshida wants to have some kind of PvP that people take seriously within Final Fantasy XIV. Do we know what we can kind of expect for the future, or is it all just a big blank slate of, I don't know?
It's gotten even more like unpredictable because this season, they've always done, for rewards for feast seasons, mount, armor, mount, armor, and then this season they just threw us for a loop and this is like a third reskin of a mount. So like we don't know what to expect. And also the season went back to back. We didn't have a preseason.
That was kind of crazy, yeah. But then like some seasons we have like 3-4 months of preseason.
Yeah. It's so unpredictable, and I think that's what gets most of us like upset. Like we don't get the communication of what's gonna happen for patches.
Yeah. Okay, so
And
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if you think about it, right, like they were very, their communication level when the FRC was announced was pretty good. You know what I mean? Like when the FRC was announced, they sponsored teams to fly out to, you know, to Paris, to Vegas, and to Tokyo. I think it was Tokyo. And those are some really cool things that were happening. So I mean, if you look at it this way, nobody really expected the FRC prior to the FRC happening. Feast Regional Championship, for those who don't know. And it kind of like showing up was like a big, like, wow, this is, you know, all this stuff that we've been doing, all these times that we've been playing and getting better and strategizing as individuals and as a team was like finally here to like show that off. And now, you know, because of COVID, unfortunately, I feel perhaps that is on the back burner in terms of the actual mode. We haven't gotten much. And I feel like a lot of things are delayed. I feel like a lot of things maybe are pushed back with development time. And unfortunately, the communication from the dev side of things has not been the greatest.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope that's something that will eventually improve. I mean, it's the same thing. If we just have to see if Square Enix is ready to push PvP. And I think that might be part of the issue. If I was going to say what was going on is that they might just not be ready to do it and give it a solid push. I mean, they tried a lot in Stormblood, but I don't know if they were ready then to do it. They just did what they could. And the people who were involved with that, that were trying to make it all work, I do appreciate all the hard work they put into it, because they did put some hard work into it. I saw it myself. But I think that's what we're waiting on, is we're waiting on Square Enix to finally say, I'm ready to push PvP forward and make it into something that's much much larger in the game than what it is right now.
You know what it feels like, honestly? Sorry for interjecting. It feels like they're trying to get it right. They're trying, because if you look back, yeah, maybe, right? Like if you look back at 2.x, you know, you had the Wolves Den, which was later renamed into the Fold, and that was on it. I'm just gonna say it was horrible. it was
good for some memes.
It was good. It was good at like the highest of the highest level, basically, like where everybody knew what they were doing, but being slept for like 30 seconds at a time and stuff. Like there was some imbalances that were just it was not good. Then then came 3.x, where yes, there was imbalances, but the imbalances were incredibly fun, like and unfun in certain situations. Like there was, you know what I mean? Like this is.
Oh, I had so much fun with stunning people, and then get
out of here.
I was a paladin main too, so I just like stun people for 10 seconds.
Oh god.
Yeah.
So it feels like in 3.x they kind of took a page from WoW's handy book of PvP, where it's like the CC and everything is going to be so debilitating. And then I feel like, you know, they kind of like made some changes in 3.x, and then a sweeping change came in 4.x. Like the biggest change, I think, probably to date, came from the conversion from 3.x to 4.x, where they eliminated, I want to say 30 plus buttons.
Yeah. Because before it just, you know, it was they were just like, here's your character, plus here's a couple extra things. Hopefully it balances out, is kind of how I took it.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
they changed it, you know, having PvP hotbar specifically in 4.x.
There's definitely been, so like 4.x was, you know, 4.x was when we had the FRC and they felt comfortable. I think they felt confident to actually release this, because who knows, right? Maybe they plan to release in 2.x or 3.x, or just like, okay, we're not ready. Maybe that's the case now. We're not sure. Maybe 6.x will have it, but realistically, it feels like they've been working on it. You know what I mean? It feels like they've been trying to really nail down what makes this PvP tick. And like, what is because they had, you know, the feast is, you know, everybody knows the goal of it, right? With the medals and everything like that.
No,
But the
probably
actual-
most people listening don't know what the goal of Feast is, to be honest with
no.
you.
Can you play a video? Please?
You want me to play the 3-minute video? That's not really
no,
relevant. Yeah.
Yeah, not really. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah,
I just
go
wanted to say that I think they're fine tuning to a certain extent, that they may have a vision, but it may not be as clear, because they do consider certain feedbacks, right? Because there's been a lot of as you know, like we talked about the community, there's a lot of passion for the mode. There's a lot of passion for the mode, and there's a lot of feedback being given. So in a way, I do think that because they're not able to provide us with the test server, they're using these ranked and preseason modes to kind of collect that information. Be like, okay, you know what? This is good and this is not good. This is our vision. We're gonna go from there.
Right.
And I'll be honest, when 5.x came out, it looked pretty decent. And then when the next patch came out, they reverted a lot of things, and they was like, oh, what's going on? The meta was just not good. Let's just say it that way. And then now it's better again. So I mean, maybe there is light at the end of the tunnel, and it's it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun.
I mean, I still have fun with it. I mean, it has its flaws, but I enjoy queuing up, and I like going into a match and then talking to people after, whether they yell at me or not. It's still fun to just be a part of the community and competitively beat each other up with my Final Fantasy XIV character.
Yep, that's so fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I do agree, Mateo. Like, if they didn't care, why would they keep doing these patches and like trying, like getting closer and closer? But we just don't know like what the end goal is really. Like how many seasons will there be? Will there be another FRC? Like stuff like that. We just don't know.
I think they're trying not to say anything, so they're not grounded to anything too right now, because there's probably still lots of discussion happening. I mean, when we talk about communication, and just to be fair, Square Enix does have some issues with communication overall. I mean, it's not just within the PvP scene. There's other aspects within like raiding and everything else where it could be a little bit better. But with PvP, it's something the three of us have put so much energy into in different ways that we care. If they tell us one little bit of information, we're like, this means the world to me. That's why I had those dedicated PvP interviews, right? I was just like, give me something so I can just hold on to it for a little while. And
Appreciate you for those. Those were great.
Oh yeah, maybe we'll get some more here in the future. It depends. It really depends on what Square Enix is kind of doing with PvP 2, which I'm hoping within the next couple of patches or the next patch or so, we start to hear some stuff. A new map, right? That'd be so good.
Everything sounds so hopeful. It's crazy.
Yeah, new map.
Yeah, we haven't had like anything new for Feast really like that.
They've just
in a
kind of
while.
made changes. Yeah, over the last Stormblood was kind of the feast expansion where we saw the most activity and everything else, I think
So.
and then we just really didn't see that kind of same level come into play for Shadowbringers, but Shadowbringers has so many other great things. It's just not the PvP aspect we were all hoping for with new stuff. And once we start seeing that stuff, I think with like new maps and things like that, we're gonna be like, holy crap, maybe they are starting to come back a little bit. I don't think we'll see another FRC for this next Fan Fest, because it's a little difficult to kind of get all together, because they don't even know if they'll have a Fan Fest.
Right. Yeah.
But maybe
I mean, they could do online. If they do online, they like they could just do like the semifinals if they wanted. If they wanted to have an FRC.
Yeah, they did have do you remember that Chaos? Was it Chaos Showdown? I think the name.
Yeah, I was a part of that.
Oh yeah. They could do something like that again if
Plus One and I were a part of that, and that was kind of fun. It was so funny, the details of getting that together. But man, I'm so happy Clem was able to do that. And Clem's going up in the world. He's got a whole new position now.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, Clem basically was running the office for Square Enix community representatives over in EU. Now he's the online person for Square Enix. Is that right? The online community manager?
Online community manager?
Oh yeah.
I think so.
So congrats to him. Dude's wonderful.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate him. And I appreciate... Go ahead.
No, suck it blip if he's watching.
Oh, yeah.
When I met him at FanFest, he's like, "Don't say that."
Oh.
I was like, "Oh, sorry." And then
So-
I said it again.
Well,
I'm Canadian. I could say sorry, and it doesn't have to mean anything.
yeah, absolutely. As a meaningless word. It's like, just letting air out of your mouth, like a sigh or something. It's the same thing.
Sorry.
But no, him and Neha did a really good job kind of getting all that stuff together, and I'm really happy with seeing that, and then talking to Yoshida afterwards, and he was like, man, seeing all that excitement from the event, really inspired him a bit. But now we just have to wait for this next one, and every patch we're just kind of holding on, and I think that affects the community a lot, and it becomes a little bit difficult to kind of keep people happy, but at the same point in time, I don't think the community's job is to keep themselves happy. It's just to be together for something they all love, right?
Yeah, and if there is fan fest, brick and mortar fan fest, you probably recognize the PvP community by being like the rowdiest dudes, like the rowdiest but the friendliest people. You'd expect them to be like at each other's throats, but dude, really, it was like a big giant family.
Yeah.
It seriously was. It was such a good time. So yeah, if there is, just look for the craziest dudes that will like welcome you and offer you a shot. Probably. Probably. I don't know. Brian's like doubting me here. I don't know.
There are a few people who are
you're
not
right.
like that, but I
don't
would
know,
say
man. I remember
99.9 is great. Yeah.
I remember somebody walking with me to the liquor store, Brian, to pick up a Ford. Yeah. Never mind. I did say that. You could cut.
I remember.
Brian's a wholesome streamer. You can't be associated with alcohol.
Yeah. No, it was another Brian, dude. I don't.
Okay. But I guess that's I don't know. I want to see where this goes in the future. I do want to see, because I thought, I'm going to be honest, like in the previous couple of patches, part of what I was saying was like, if I don't see anything for Feast, why would I don't even know if I'll play anymore. I may just stop. But
That's sad. But
I kept playing. I didn't play to last a very long last season because I had other things going on. But I mean, I picked up this season, and I don't mind at all. I jump in and I have fun. Maybe my mentality has changed. I don't know. I don't let people get me down. So even if someone's upset with me, I'm like, okay, that's cool, man. That's fine. Yeah,
man.
It's really good.
And I love it. And it's the other game that I've been playing is Valorant, because my friends are playing that. But I hate that game so much now. I can't stand, like, I don't turn on mics and I can't listen to party chat, because if you're talking about people,
Toxic shit happened to me in that stupid game, dude.
Yeah.
I swear to God.
Because like when every single time that I listened to other people, it was some dude who was at least 11 who was telling me I should go, do a whole bunch of racist stuff. Then you should jump off a bridge, or so. It's just like, why? What are we teaching our children these days that they're able to go online and do that?
By the way, this community is not even close to that.
No.
Not even close.
My sensitive Final Fantasy Feast ass who just can't handle it, man. I can't take it.
I'll meet you in the Crystal Tower training grounds. Tell him.
Yeah, you see your Crystal Tower, motherfucker.
Got my Moogle head on, bitch.
Yeah.
I got a really bad posture because I'm a Hrothgar, but I'll see you soon.
Oh man, don't get mad. Hrothgar is amazing, dude. And it's the first race that I was actually happy with the game, because it was just not a generic, cute version of a human, and that's it was a monster. I love it.
Bee's knees. You do that on Hrothgar?
What? No, I don't have it. I don't have it.
Okay.
Because I'm a loser and I haven't done it.
That's like the best dance in the game.
It's the best dance in the game, literally.
It's pretty good.
If you want to play this game and you just want to play this game for that dance, do it. It'll make like the best like screensaver. I swear to God.
It's one of those things that I saw, right? And then like I just actively couldn't get it. I just keep seeing all these videos about it. I keep seeing all this stuff, and it's just everywhere. I've seen it so much that I don't like it anymore. I just hate it.
Oh, wow.
It's just like seeing Fortnite dances. I don't want to see P's knees anymore. I'm done with it, man.
Are you logged in right now?
I'm not. There's no way I could balance all this stuff.
I'm literally doing it right now. I'm literally.
Of course you are.
Literally right now.
But no, I think that Feast, it's so funny because the Feast community is really, there is toxicity, but it's so mild compared to all these other games out there. Fortnite, any other competitive game you play. League, oh
Like,
yeah. Because the people are awesome, and I don't think that you don't really see that. Do you? Maybe there is, and I just don't know about it. Maybe there's a Valorant community out there that's in Discord. Everyone's like, "Hey, we're all friends, and here's how you get better and everything." But I don't imagine that existing. I imagine it being a Discord of people showing each other, pictures of poop and saying that's you. And so,
like I said, I think it's like that. Like Feast is like that because 14. That's how 14 is overall. So
yeah, they're usually nice. Yeah. So I guess one thing that I'm sure we've discussed this so many times within our own community, but with improving the Feast community and growing it and making it better, right now one of the big limits is, of course, that sometimes it's queue popping and getting more people able to actually access it and play it, and that is a limiting factor to it. So we have all these little separate communities. We have Aether, right, and we have Primal, and we have Crystal, and it does have some overflow, but it's not like incredible. If they just merged the data center, or made it not merged the data center, but made it cross data center available in some way, they would have to actually do something within the structure to make that happen. But they could, and I think that would improve the Feast community a lot because you just have so many more people who could access it.
Yeah, that would be the best thing, probably.
Yeah. I think when I talked to Yoshida and I tried to give him some sort of idea about that, it kind of was like a maybe sort of response, and also followed up with maybe having specialized characters like they do with Arena and WoW, where they could all go and play together, which is a possibility, I guess, but kind of takes you out of anything that takes you out of the game hurts, right? So if you're like out of your game and you're in this special server just for PvP, you can't really do the stuff that you would do in Final Fantasy while waiting on queues and everything else. So I don't know.
So okay, so I just want to say, like, in terms of like segregated PvP discords and stuff like that, yeah, there is, I mean, people will make their own discords and stuff like that for and with people that they play PvP with, because there's a certain kind of like bond that you do create with these individuals, and like people want their friendship circle around them and stuff like that, and there is big PvP discords and there's small PvP discords. In terms of the stuff that we that's advertised quote unquote in game, it's not to the same scale, not even close. A lot of the community, as we said at the beginning of the show, is confined to generally Discord, to another extent, maybe Twitter, but that's mostly the JP players.
Yeah.
When it comes to Twitter.
Twitter's a great place for me to communicate with everybody in the world because everybody uses Twitter. So it works out pretty well. I think everybody, it's weird that not everybody uses Discord because it seems like it's such a main way of communicating with people, at least that play video games now, but...
one thing that I've always kind of like, I see it in the chat right now.
All right,
one
get 'em.
thing I've always wondered with people that say Feast sucks, what is your experience? What is your experience? Have you, how are those unranked matches treating you? Were you playing? What happened? Did you get marked ignore? Like, what? You guys gotta, this is the thing I keep hearing. It's like Feast sucks, and then I'm like, and then I ask him, I'm like, hey, okay, what happened? You okay, dude? Let me, let me give you some tips, maybe. And then they just kind of like, oh no, I played one match and that was it. I'm good.
Or they play, they play unranked and lose. Yeah.
Yeah, some people just don't have the competitive spirit, which is fine, but it's just like weird when they insult the mode or other people who like it. Why?
Yeah. And the other thing that kind of like upsets me as well is there's sometimes the rewards are nice, man. Sometimes the rewards are like, everybody wants this, bro. Give me that. You know what I'm saying? But then they're like, oh, right, yeah.
Why do I gotta play this mode?
I don't want to work for it.
I mean, that's a general.
Shut the fuck up and just play, dude.
Well, they don't make role playing mounts, right? They don't make mounts for being really good at role playing. They don't make mounts for doing really good casual content. I mean, they do have some.
We have Ishgard ranked now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's true.
And people do that.
But there's so many people who don't want to be forced into trying hard, if that makes any sense. They don't want to be forced into challenging themselves and overcoming a challenge to get a reward. They want to be accessible at their ability and skill level at the moment. I think that's where a lot of But my favorite thing is to get that mount that only 600 people in the world have and sit wherever I can and just have people ask me about it.
You bitch.
It's just kind of like gloat in that one weird way. But because I don't know, I love it, and I want other people to try it and enjoy it.
I think the best way to like get into Feast is just like the same way most of us got into it. Like start out with Frontlines, see if you like it, enjoy killing people and stuff like that, and then give unranked Feast a try.
And I want to state this pretty clearly too. It's okay not to like Feast. I'm not saying you have to like a mode that is like nails and scratching a chalkboard, that same feeling for you to actually have to go in there and play it. But, you know, if it's one of those things that I care about a lot, and it would be nice if some other people who do hate it have a reason for hating it other than to hate it. Resident Sleeper, the chat, just spam it.
Resident Sleeper, dude. Where's the next live letter so we can see the PvP section get spammed? It's so funny. I love it. It's so funny. I love it. Do it more.
So much salt.
Sorry,
go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, there was a Reddit post someone did on why people don't play ranked Feast, and if I remember correctly, like the majority was they think everyone cheats.
Yep.
And they just don't like PvPing in MMOs, basically.
I saw that. That was really informative.
Yeah, and that's fine. If they don't like PvPing in MMOs, then that's fine. It doesn't really...
Valid.
Yeah, that's a valid reason. But if you are interested in doing PvP in an MMO, I would say join the community and realize that a lot of things are full of misconceptions, because there is a really good community for Feast. I believe so. And there are little communities for, if you don't like the main community, there's little communities that you might like more out there too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In terms of, I think Air said it best in chat. So cheating will happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we said it's 1%. If 1% probably is there is cheaters. There's whatever. Unfortunately, it's not as moderated as it could be, and that does affect the quality of the games that you do experience at times. So it is. We're not going to sugarcoat it. It's going to happen. Yeah, but your overall quality of the games is not going to that much. You know what I mean? Like if Frosty gets mad one day, he's like, I don't want to play with Mateo or Brian.
That's usually what I say after I have games with you guys.
Literally what I think. And he throws or something, and he costs 10 matches in a row, or like DCs at the last second.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna happen,
yeah,
but not that often.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So expect it. I think any game probably has that issue, honestly.
Yeah, I was playing Valorant, and people just like halfway through a competitive, like 2 people disconnect, and I'm like 3 versus 5 in the damn game.
Valorant, literally the worst when it comes to that, like rage quitting.
Yeah, like we lose one match, surrender. I just like
and ranked matches too. It's crazy.
Surrender. That's so funny.
Yeah, it's surrendering. Like out of 13 games, out of like 26 games, first one they're like, I'm done. You're not.
I had a game. I had a game we were leading, and then they did surrender. And
yep. Like, I gotta go for my pizza's here. Surrender.
Yeah.
That's my dog's.
So that's just like a thing in all competitive team games, I would say.
Yeah.
Correct. And real talk. Like when it comes to actually PvP, it is. I've said it at the beginning as well. Conceptually and mechanically, it could be easy, but actually getting the little things that make you a good player and a great teammate are very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't want to compare it to anything else in Final Fantasy XIV, because it's nothing like Final Fantasy XIV, and that's what makes it special.
Yeah,
that's what makes it special. It's dynamic and it's constantly changing. And you know, sometimes you may not have the best teammates, and that's okay. You know, just queue up the next one, and hopefully it's better.
Yep. All right, so we got a minute left here. I'm going to have you guys... I mean, if we go a little bit over, it's not too bad. Because setup isn't horrible. But I would like to go ahead and give you guys a little bit of time here to say whatever you'd like to say, shout outs, whatever you'd like to do before we end the segment. And it means a lot that you guys came on for this, and I hope that we can have more PvP talks in the future because it's not something that's going to go away, at least not for me. So, but
yeah, same.
Brian, would you like to say some final words here?
Yeah, sure. Shout out to my stream team, Ethernet. Thank you so much for hiring me as a PvP player. And I'll just shout out my stream, twitch.tv.Brian Ricardo, and my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Brian Ricardo as well. I put out guides, mostly for like PvP, obviously.
How often do people get confused with your channel and someone else's channel?
Oh, not often.
Not often? Okay.
He's got a pretty good dance, dude. You see him dance? It's got like a band.
I've seen the dance. Like, it's a really good dance, Brian.
Dance, yeah.
Anyways, Mateo.
Yo, I actually want to shout out my team, Synergy 6. I love you guys. I want to shout out PvPisa and everything it's done for the community. We've had a lot of bumps on the road, man, for sure. No one's gonna be perfect, but shout out to the team. I also want to shout out a couple of my friends who started up and I'm going to call it an organization because they're very serious. They're putting money and time and a lot of effort into making these things grow for eventually the worldwide community, which is the Argo Discord. They have a Discord, which is argo.gg. And the Discord itself is also argo.gg. So if you want to check that out, there's some cool stuff being planned, man. There's a lot of passion, and I think these guys are funneling it quite well.
I mean, I haven't heard of it at all, so I need to check it out.
Oh, really?
No, I haven't. I've been out of a loop for 6 months, man. It's just like I've been gone.
Welcome back. It's pretty recent. I want to say maybe 2-3 months.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's cool. Yeah, they're doing the best to promote competitiveness in the game. So
okay, I'll give them a look-see. All right. Well, again, I do want to say that both of you are amazing, and you've been on shows in the past about PvP, and it's always a pleasure to talk to you guys, either whether it's on the show or not. I consider you both great friends, so thank you so much for coming on and giving me your time here for this PvP segment of MogTalk 200.
Yeah, same to you, man.
Thank you for the invitation. It was pretty chill.
That's what it is, man, for us two. All right. All right. Everybody, wave so we can cut the mic. Wave, Brian. Say bye.
Bye.
Okay. Transition. Hold on. I can figure this out.